Come here, sweetie, it's been a long time. Houston, we have a problem. I'm seeing some very strange price anomalies going on with the new Thomas All Engines Go metal engine stock, and I wonder why I'm seeing a price which is different in store versus what I see online. And in this video, look very carefully at the prices where the toys are pegged or on the shelf, or if there's no price there at all. And what I'm finding is all of the mistakes are a disadvantage to the consumer. Inflation is rife at the moment, and these mistakes just add more fuel onto the inflation fire. So that sets an adult tone to this video. Let's do it. Okay, things are changing and overlapping. That playset there is actually on special, and that's the special price there, so you can save $40. Oops, nearly lost that ticket then. And look at this here. Dun, 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 dun. Very interesting. And looking at that Thomas there, it actually looks like its artwork is A-OK. I think with this playset, Annie and Clarabelle are the same, but of course the Thomas is the new funky dory one. And straight away what looks really strange and unusual is look how tall Thomas is. I know he's about 70 millimeters in height. Sorry, I can't do my imperial at the moment because my brain's inactive. It just looks like a bit of a mismatch going on. The height difference is actually quite noticeable when you look at the toys like this. Thomas is towering over Annie and Clarabelle there, but when I take a look at the box artwork, they mask the height difference quite well. There's actually a fair bit of new stock here. I'm happy to see new stock because I've seen it so often without any new stock around. There's a Duchess that I saw here still laying around. Well, I can see some funky stuff. Yeah, it looks funky. I'm going to definitely buy a Thomas like that. Crikey, Charlie's. It is very, very unusual looking. In my Thomas collection, that is going to stand out like the proverbial. I can't say what I really want to say, but you know what I mean. It's so nice to see new playsets arrive, and because there's new toys here, I'm going to go through and look for factory errors, in particular around the way the artwork is done on that style of toy there. It's a little bit strange because I have seen some of these Thomases where the face is actually skew-iffed to one side, and I have never quite worked out whether it's meant to be like that or whether it's sort of like a funky factory thing. You have to work that out. And just thinking of the face, I mean, look at the faces on those three Thomases there. To me, they all look like they're twisted like that. If I go like that, they look like they're straightened up. Yeah, I'm still to work it out. This store here has had its whole Thomas area put into another area. This used to be where Lego was. Now there's something here that I've seen, and I picked some of these up in another store, and I picked up one of these characters here for $12, yet here it's displaying $7. Let me just quickly see how much this really is. I had a big kerfuffle about the price of these in another store. Let's just see exactly how much this is. Oh, crikey, Charlie's, $12. Yet I grabbed that from a peg. It says Thomas Push Along Engine Large, $7. It just scanned as $12. Crikey, Charlie's, buyer beware. Okay, I'll go through these Trackmaster 3s, which are mixed with the Trackmaster 2s. I'm calling the Thomas All Engine Go engines here Trackmaster 3. I hope I'm correct there, and I'll see if I can find any factory errors, Mrs. YouTube. It looks pretty good. I'm actually seeing a Percy here, which hasn't got the thumbprints like I had on another one that I purchased, and I can see, well, the envelope and wing, well, it's still got a few problems going on. I am going to grab a couple of diesels because I'm a diesel collector, and what I'm going to do is a bit sneaky here. I'm going to move a couple of Nias, and get who I'm going to replace on the peg there. Come with me, guys, it's your lucky day. I'm not sure why they've got Thomas hiding away. He's much better at this height here, where little ones will go, wow, Mummy, can I please have a Thomas? That's much better. These Nias here can hang out with all of her sisters, which are also hanging out up here. Wow, they're gonna sell hard and fast. My prediction is these will be here for many, many months to come. It's nice to see the new Thomas stock in store on the pegs. It does pop out at you. I think little ones are going to really enjoy getting into this. Very eye-catching in box. And there's some parental advice on the playset that I looked at a little bit earlier on in that playset there. Let's take a look at the back of this box. Let me clear these mystery toys that seem to hound me in toy stores. Flip this around. The most important panel to look at on this is this section here. Okay, I can see Thomas Any Inclarable. It does look rather kooky there in its scale. Wow. I can see a nice selection of track parts, and as I drift downwards I can see other components on this playset, and at least I'm not seeing a one-trick pony. That's the main thing. There's a nice picture here of the playset set up, and this is exactly what you want to see for all the fun you can have with your Thomas toys. I'm definitely giving this playset a thumbs up, and I'm a really hard marker. I know some people will be shocked that I've been so positive about something. I am a bit curious about the scale difference going on here. Often with children, they don't notice things like that as adults do, because adults look at things a lot more critically. You might find a child may not even notice there's a grand scale difference between Thomas and Ian Clarabelle now. I better take a look at these toys. These do look very impressive, very eye-catching. I had a look at the Thomas and you say, but you never looked at Percy. What are they called? Press and go start engine. So that's how you press them down and they will take off with all fury. I'm tempted to put one on the ground and let it go.
But then people say, but it's a toy of you now and you're going to get smacked down by the systems.
It's very eye-catching. Okay, that's the best thing I can say. I think children will absolutely go for these. Look, let's have a quiet little go of this. Let's see where it goes. Okay, I'll probably get into trouble here. I'll press it down. That should take off like all fury. Yeah, it goes in a straight line as well. Nice. For parents who are watching, and I know parents who watch, I'm giving that one the thumbs up. You know why? Because no batteries are needed to play with that. That's a very, very nice toy. It looks nice and robust. Also giving it the thumbs up. I know it's scary. 2 thumbs up in a video. Very rare from me. Extremely rare. And did you notice something? My goodness, the buffers are painted. Dun, dun, dun. So let's now investigate how much I paid for these toys. How much was that funky little Thomas that I found? And we'll also explore some other very strange price anomalies going on with the toys I've been purchasing. I struggled to get these toys out of store. In fact, it was the same debacle as the store Escape Salty. In fact, it was the same store. Silly me. I know how much these were on the pegs. They were $15, or that's what it was indicating as. Okay, so do you think I paid $15 for these? When I went through the register, it came up with item unknown. Was I surprised? Well, no, because these are new toys. Guess what? The same thing happened with these 2 guys here. Item unknown. On the shelf where these 2 were, there was no indication of price. Hey, I've seen that plenty of times, but when I've purchased toys like this before, and it was another, I'll call it sister store, Percy like that with a nice smudge on it was a $15 toy. The smudges and Chinese fingerprints make these far more valuable. When these items didn't scan, I was initially told by the staff, look, the manufacturer might have put a hold on these items here, there might be problems with them, and they're not for sale. And I said, well, no, I'm holding my ground. I'm not walking out until I've bought these toys. Once the staff saw I was holding my ground and I was not going to just walk away without buying these, I said, look, I've got pictures of these on the pegs at $15 in this store. I said, look, I'm quite happy to pay $15 for them. And this store can't do like an override on the cash register. They said, look, we've got to put a code in before we can sell this item. It was the exact same problem with this toy here, but I had no idea how much this would be. I thought possibly this could be a $20 toy. You know, if I got it for $10, I think it'd be a bargain. But I have not had one of these before. It's a brand new toy, and we didn't know how much it would be until we found the code. So how much are these toys? Well, let's take a look at the receipt. All up, I purchased 6 items. There's 1 item on this line here. There's another 3 here, so that's 4, and then there's another 2 here, making 6. Here's the date I purchased the toys and the time, and it's the number here in front of each item is the key to unraveling the price of the toy, and that number was found online. On the other side, we've got the price. Now there's 1 item here we had to work out the price. It was $16, so that was for one of the Trackmaster 3 Thomases, as I'll call it. Then there was another 3 added to that, and then the price of the little funky ones was also $16. It's just incredible how these little mistakes in store always seem to disadvantage the consumer. And it was the same store that had quite some years back a Harry Potter wand. I think it was $10, but its real price was $30. Do you remember me talking about that a long time back? Let me push this aside. Man, I had a price problem at another store, which is normally the cheapest store, and that's another story we're going to talk about. I'll just drag in this bag. The receipt for these toys is in here. I had to have a bit of a giggle. The motto of the store is lower prices for life. Yeah, right. And let me just dump out these toys. Nice and carefully, of course. Woo! I got rather excited when I saw these toys appear in store. I had nothing else to gauge them to because it was the first time I'd seen them, and that might be the problem here. This store is normally a really good discount store, but I'll tell you what, this time I was totally shafted. First up, just take note, there are 12 items on the table here. Now, when I went to the in-store scanners, I put that under the scanner and it scanned at $12. When I put this under the scanner, it also scanned as $12, and I just thought, what's going on here? Then I took this character here and I took it to the scanners. I started taking video then. That scanned at $12. How could a toy this size be $12 and a toy that size be the same price? Something was going wrong in this store. Went up to Star Person and I said, hey, you know, I'm seeing an issue here. They had one of those little install guns, you know, you go bip bip bip, and it came up as $12. So I started to swallow a fairly bitter pill. Maybe these are all $12. Remember, there's no law against making a profit. And I thought to myself, hang on, I'm sure the previous version of Thomas that was that size, and I've actually got one right here, how could that be $5 and all of a sudden that be $12? It just made absolutely no sense. Devious Diesel's going to help me with the receipt here. You can see the date and the time I purchased this. You can see 4 at 12 here, another individual item at 12. All down here, it all marks out at $12, and number of items is 12. I'll tell you what, it's completely buyer beware these days. You have to be really careful everywhere you go. Now, I do believe this is a $12 toy. That is in Australia, but we live in a stupid island where you get stupid prices. It's probably cheaper where you live. Curiously, this is the toy that was on the pegs or showing as $7 but scanned at 12. Who wins in that? Well, it's not the consumer. The consumer never ever wins. I'm so tired of it. These toys here, okay, I paid $12 a pop. They can't be frippin' $12. No way. And then I got confirmed, oh, install up, they're $12. I'm over it. I'm completely over it, okay? As for how much they are, I have not seen them in store because of the frippin' the thing starting with C and V and everything that's just ruined the world. I've got no idea how much these are, but I got totally ripped off. Really what I should do is grab all these stupid toys, take them back to where I got them and say, give me the best price or give me all my money back, I'm never going to come back. That's really what I should do. Honest to God, I'm totally over it. I'm completely and utterly over it. I'm sorry I'm getting cranky, but I've got a right to be cranky, I feel. Now let me show you something about this toy here. I'm going to have to do a good old-fashioned unboxing. Come here, sweetie, it's been a long time. I'll let you into a little secret. You aim for the one. Ah! Works every time. You know, back in the day, they used to give you a piece of track when you bought the train roll. Not anymore! Ah! This is the first time I've had one of these new Thomases in my hand. I'm calling it Trackmaster 3. Some people call it Thomas AEG, like all engines go. I'm yet to work out whether the face crank to its side is right or wrong. Maybe I've just unboxed a factory error. I look at some and they're straight. I look at others and they're over. There's some things here that remind me of the previous Thomas, a few bits and bobs, but there's a lot here which is brand spanking new. Now, sometimes a total shake-up of a franchise can be a miracle working thing, and sometimes it can destroy a franchise. There's one thing about this toy that worries me. I just want to put a ruler over it, and I can see 70mm. I spoke about that earlier in the video. I actually had sized this up in box. 70mm in Imperial is about 2 3/4 inches. If I roll in the Trackmaster 2 Thomas against Trackmaster 3, I start to get a strange sinking feeling. I've often spoken extremely highly of the 6-in-1 builder set. Comes with lots of useful bits and bobs to make some incredible play sets. Comes with a Percy. I know it works with a Thomas toy like that, but let's see some of the components against that monster there. Scenario number 1, quite a common piece in many Trackmaster play sets. I've lined Thomas up here, got batteries in him. Let's see how he goes. Go, Thomas, go! Houston, we have a problem. Not anymore! Scenario number 2, another very common piece in many Trackmaster playsets. Okay, Thomas is ready to go. Go, Thomas, go! Before I whack it with a rubber chicken, let's see a slow motion replay of that. That's another fail. Scenario number 3, this time incorporating a very common piece in many Trackmaster playsets. Okay, go Thomas, go. You're kidding me, aren't you? You can grind away all you like, but you're not going to get through. Only means one thing, doesn't it? I'll continue this investigation in another video. What have you noticed? What doesn't fit with what? There's one last thing I want to talk about. The video has completely blown out. Let me gently clear the table. Okay, you need to listen very carefully what I'm saying here and what I'm asking you about this toy here. It's also got a tender. Of course, it's Henry. This is Learning Curve. Thomas and Friends Toys, 2002. People who were playing with this would be adults now. As you can see, this Henry's had a lot of love. There's a missing wheel here. This was in a charity store, and I had an argument in store about the price they were asking for this toy versus my argument of how much I felt this was really worth. And they were selling it per piece, so there was a price on this, and there was also a price on the tender. It wasn't as if you got it one price buys both pieces. Okay, so you can see the condition of this. You might be very happy to see Henry's had a hard time. I actually don't mind seeing toys banged up like this. Here's James. This charity shop had them set at a price, okay? There was no tender on James, but you can see James has had a very hard time, and that's the Thomas love, and I think we love to see that. So whoever played with this toy back in the day had a lot of fun. For all I know, it may have gone through a couple of families to get this banged around, but I tell you what, whoever had that James gave it a flogging. Here is Gordon's tender. There's no Gordon, and this was set at a price. And to get these out of store, I had to do some extremely difficult talking because I was in a charity store, and it's not nice to ask for discounts in charity shops, but I made a few points about this toy versus the price they were asking. Honest to God, you know, I would say a piece like that is a 50-cent piece if there's no Gordon. I think even that's being generous. Okay, remember I'm asking you how much do you think this is per piece, and the last one here is Thomas. And the Thomas learning curves, I've said this many times, easy to spot. They've got a slightly smaller black mark or black shape above the driver's cab. They've got a big one here, and they've got like a moon face. And it's interesting, when this toy came out, they replaced the Thomas and Friends Ertl toys, and I think a lot of people were shocked in how different this is. And in a strange way, it's the same sort of shock that people are getting when they see that. Are we going to have history repeating? Is this going to be the greatest thing they've ever done? Because in the end, as we learned, this toy here became an absolute classic. And this toy I've got in my hand is a confirmed classic Thomas toy. But how much do you think it's really worth? If I see you saying certain prices and I won't go ahead with the video, I will say I was stupid for asking for a less price. But I need to know how much that toy is really worth in a charity store. I should show how these toys were displayed in the charity shop, set at a very premium price. And that premium price was per piece. It did get a little bit narky when I started to discuss the price I thought this was worth. Yeah, so how much would you pay per piece? It's going to be very interesting to see who answers this very simple question, or who's just spraying comments in the comments area just to be seen. Anyway, in another store, just as I was finishing this video, I noticed some more Thomas All Engines Go stock arrived. It's very nice to see new stock. This store had been empty of stock for over 6 months. I was whinging earlier about paying $16 for a twin pack. Well, in this store, they were $19.99, which rounds up to $20. That's crazy, and inflation is rife at the moment. Just about everything I look at in store has gone up in price. I could also see some playsets, and they are of the Trackmaster style of the All Engines Go engines, and these look pretty cool. Each pack seemed to be slightly different themed, and there was a different face on the characters in these packs versus the ones you get in the twin packs. Looking at the components in this playset, it does tick all the boxes of what I like to see in this style of playset. It's actually better value to buy one of these playsets versus buying one of the twin packs of this style of Thomas toy. The cranky character in one of these playsets actually looks pretty good. Cranky's gotta look cranky. And I know the struggle for many for this style of new Thomas toy is going to be the scale of the engines. It just seems to be too bloated versus the rolling stock and other components. I could also see a 5-pack of the Metal Engine Thomas All Engines Go stock here. Really nice to see, and I think it was better value to buy it in the 5-pack versus picking them off as single engines. So bit by bit the Thomas toys are transforming into this new style, and now I can say if you see any of the classic Trackmaster 2 sets or Thomases, my advice is grab it. Go Thomas, go. What is he? Does it work? Is that meant to happen? Oh, let's just leave Thomas there and bye-bye. The smudges come free, it makes it more valuable. And I was given the same verbal as I've heard before, that possibly these items have been held up by the manufacturer in the fact there could be errors and they don't want to sell them. And look, I saw this on the pegs for $15. In fact, I had the video on my phone. All up, I purchased 6 items, so there's 1 item here, and there's another 3 here, so that makes... I'm not given these by the Miraculous Toy Company. In fact, I don't know why I buy this rubbish anymore. Devious Diesel's going to give me a hand with oh my god. Scenario number 2, another very, very common piece, which is in a lot of Trackmaster playsets. Guess what? Thomas is ready to go, go, go. Go, Thomas, go. There's a thing called a fail rule that might have made it. Don't know why I waste my time, demonetization incoming.